Runnin' with the Devil, a rock and roll adventure. Part 24. Bob, you have a lovely daughter there, but, she has a tail. Am I correct in what I'm thinking? I asked. Yes, Mr. Hardsell, you would be correct. Rebecca is an 867-year-old succubus. She is not only off limits to you, because she is my daughter, but also because, the six of you, yes, including you big man, are an intricate part of my plan. I cannot have her seducing you, then killing you. Although the majority of you are already dead, and would come back to life, the remainder are not, and would not. Your untimely deaths would hinder my plan immensely. I do hope that you understand, boys, Bob said, still standing. I do, yup, you know it, absolutely, sure do. I don't wanna die, we all said in response. Good, Bob stated. Rebecca then came back into the room. Edgar said he just finished his checklists, and that we will be taxiing to the runway soon, Daddy, Rebecca said, not so seductively. Very well, dear. Take your seat, Bob said. Rebecca then took a seat in the chair next to the TV, close to Bob, directly in front of us, and began rubbing the tip of her tail playfully. She then winked at us, and licked her lips. Rebecca, Bob shouted, and looked at her hard-faced once again. Rebecca dropped her tail, and just sat there, pouting. We then taxied to the runway, and stopped. Shortly after, we heard the intercom make a popping sound, then Edgar's nasally voice was heard saying, "Good evening passengers, and welcome to Hellfire Airlines, Flight 666. Nah, I'm just kidding, I don't even think we have a number." He then laughed. The time is 5:08 p.m., human time. The weather conditions are clear and sunny. I always wanted to say that, he continued, then laughed again. He finished by saying, "But seriously guys, we're taking off now, so wish me luck." There was a brief moment of silence, then we heard Edgar say over the intercom again, "Okay, fingers crossed, here goes. Release brake. Whoa, okay, advance throttle. Whoa, we're moving now." The plane then started moving forward fast, shaking and bouncing as it went, and so was Rebecca. We all just stared at her. "Boys, remember what I said," Bob told us intensely. We all closed our eyes, turned our heads, or covered our faces, in an attempt to look away, as Edgar continued on the intercom. Okay, check speed. Faster, faster. Got it. Lock it. Yeah baby. Pull the stick thing. Man, this thing is heavy. Oh shit. We're fly. Did I leave this on? Oh fuck. We then heard the popping sound of the intercom turning off. Bob just covered his face, and shook his head, as the plane ascended into the sky. Rebecca was now smiling. We, however, were completely scared shitless. When the plane leveled off, we all began to check and see if we pissed or shit ourselves. Luckily, no one did. Tony was sweating profusely though. "Are you alright man?" I asked Tony. "Yeah, I think so Mike. Thanks for asking," Tony said. "No problem dude," I replied. We all just sat there, for a little while, not saying a word, trying to calm our nerves. The plane then suddenly began to shake violently. Tony screamed. "We're gonna die dude," Steven yelled. "I'm too young to die," Derek said. "Shut up dude. We're already dead," Ricky stated. "Oh, yeah," Steven responded. "Right," Derek said. Boys, it is just a little turbulence. I told you, Edgar has it all under control. However, you boys look all stressed out. Would you like a little stress relief?" "What kind of stress relief?" Tony asked. "Oh, you'll see. Rebecca, why don't you go keep Edgar company for a while? I'll let you know when to come back." Rebecca smiled wider, and her eyes brightened. "Okay," she said excitedly, and hopped with a bounce, out of her seat. "Not that kind of company. The poor boy will kill us all." "Well, you know what I mean," Bob said. "Okay, Daddy, I'll just talk to him," she said saddened, and slowly walked back through the curtain, her tail dragging on the floor. As she did, we heard her say, "I'm never getting laid with you around." We all kinda laughed at that one, except Bob of course. He shook it off, and said, "Now Tony, remember what your friend here was doing with his hands earlier," and pointed at Corey. "Yeah," Tony answered, and moved his hands curvingly, just like Corey did. "That's right big man. Girls," Bob said, and snapped his fingers. Suddenly, the door between the pinball machines opened up, and out walked 6 seductively dressed women, in various colored, practically see-through, lacy lingerie, all well endowed. 2 blondes, 2 redheads, 1 brunette, and a black-haired girl. They must have been waiting in our rooms when Bob gave us a tour of the plane. We didn't see them, because we didn't go in the rooms then, I thought. Anyway, a different girl went to each one of us, and began flirting, and rubbing shoulders, amongst other things. Derek and Corey jumped at the opportunity, and began making out with their girls almost immediately, and quickly ventured to their rooms. Stephen and Ricky hung out with their girls for a while, like a little date, before doing the same. Tony was just laughing, and having the time of his life, as his girl rubbed the top of his head. The one on his shoulders, you sick freaks. When my girl approached me, I greeted her with a handshake, and told her I wasn't interested, but told her Tony would be ecstatic having the attention of two girls. She smiled, and went to join in the fun with Tony. Both girls actually had to lead Tony to his room. I just sat there. Mr. Hardsell, Bob inquired, not interested. Are you one of those kind of guys? He asked. No, Bob, I said, I'm just picky about my girls. Some say I have a unique preference. All those girls are incredibly beautiful, they're just not my type. What is your type, Mr. Hardsell? Bob asked. I tried to think of the best way to respectfully describe them. After a few seconds, I said, you can laugh if you want to. Everyone does, but I don't give a shit. I like big girls, Bob. Thick and fluffy. That's my type. Bob just looked at me. Very interesting, he said. Let me see what I can do. He then snapped his fingers, and disappeared into a cloud of gray smoke. Moments later, he returned in another cloud of smoke. He must really like gray smoke, I thought. Ta-da, he said, announcing himself. Wait until you see what I have got for you, Mr. Hardsell. I believe she will most definitely be to your liking. He snapped his fingers once again, and through the door, walked the most incredibly beautiful, full-figured, thick and fluffy woman that I had ever seen. Well, besides Susan. She will always be my number one, but this girl was a close second. She too wore the same see-through lacy lingerie, but hers was white. My eyes almost popped right out of my head. We also hung out for a while, playing pinball, drinking coffee, and talking, before agreeing to head to my room, leaving Bob alone by himself. She's a really nice girl. Her name is Donna, by the way. I joined the Mile High Club that day. Hell, all of us did, including the girls, well, except Bob, Rebecca, and Edgar. But I'm pretty sure Bob and Rebecca have been members for a very long time. I'm not sure if Edgar is a member, who knows, he could be, I don't know. Anyway, after we all got to quote-unquote know our girls a little better, one by one we all made our way back to the hangout section, I assume, as Derek, Corey, Ricky, and Stephen were all there, with their girls, when I arrived with mine. Everyone turned to look at Donna and her full-figured self, as we walked through the door. Bust that shell, man, Derek said, smiling. You do you, dude, Stephen said, giving me a thumbs up. You go, girl, Ricky's girl said. That was the first time in my life that no one laughed or made fun of my preference in women, or the woman herself. I smiled, and then kissed Donna, who in turn kissed me back. Anyway, Derek, Corey, and their girls were getting toasted on the couch, and laughing. Stephen was playing a game of pinball with his girl, both drinking a beer. Ricky and his girl were taking turns playing asteroids on the TV, and smoking. Tony was the last to arrive, with both of his girls, his arms around each one of their waists, and a huge smile plastered across his face. Thanks, Mike, he said, that was fun. I bet it was, dude. You're welcome, I replied. He then went to the sandwich station, grabbed some ham, and began Lady and the Tramping it with both of his girls. Boys, Bob said loudly, come here. Eyes forward. Pay attention. We all got up and gathered around Bob, including Tony. The girls all gathered on one couch, and began talking about anything and everything, giggling like women do. No offense. Bob then started to speak. Now, before you go thinking that you did the nasty with a demon, or some other product of hell, let me assure you boys, that could not be further from the truth. I would not waste my demons on such frivolous things such as sex. Also, I cannot manifest a human female, even if I tried, and I have. It did not work out well for me. You see, the human male was created in the image of the man upstairs, he said. He then pointed toward the ceiling of the plane, meaning God. He then continued, and the human female was created from the human male, therefore they are both creations of his. Now, many believe that I have greater power than him, but they are wrong. I have great power, yes, but nothing that could compare to that of him. I assure you boys, that these lovely ladies here are 100% human. They are fans of the band. I believe you humans call them groupies, or something equally as stupid as that. You see, when your album was released, after your video, oh yes, there's a video. We videotaped each part of your recording session, unbeknownst to you, and after mixing your audio tracks and instrumental tracks together to create a song, we mixed the tapes together, timing it perfectly to match the audio track we made, thus creating the video. I think it had something to do with dawn and being dark, he said. Before the blackest dark of dawn, I said. Yes, that's it. It is very popular on something called MTV. Anyway, like I said, when your album was released, I went around to various music shops to see who was buying it. I put on another non-threatening outfit and approached only the most beautiful of women, offering to let them meet the band and Tony. I only had to ask 8 lovely ladies. The first 2 agreed, the third had a boyfriend, the fourth and fifth agreed, the sixth batted for the same team, her words not mine, the seventh and eighth both agreed as well. None of the girls, except your girl, Mr. Hard Sell, your second girl, Donna I believe, not your first, and your first girl, Tony, really cared who they went with, as long as they went with someone in the band, or close to the band. Your 2 girls actually wanted to meet you. He used air quotes this time when he said the word meet. Anyway, he then pointed to Tony and myself. The redhead over there, he said. We all been turned to look at the redhead on the left side of the couch. No, the other one. We all been turned to look at the redhead on the right side of the couch. Yes, that one. She actually likes large men, so that worked out well. I arranged for all 6 ladies to wait in your rooms until called, which they did. I was unaware of your preference, Mr. Hardsell, so I quickly found someone to your liking. Believe it or not, in your daddy's store. He then pointed to Ricky. He's doing fine by the way, business is on the rise, since he started promoting his son's album. Ricky then smiled. Very good choice Bob, I said, as I turned and blew a kiss to Donna, and waved. She caught the kiss, and put it on her cheek, smiling. Stephen gave a thumbs up to Bob, smiled, then went back to his pinball game, and drinking beer with his girl. Derek and Corey went back to getting toasted with their girls. I made Donna and I a cup of coffee. Tony made a sandwich, and shared it with his girls. Ricky grabbed a beer for himself and his girl. Everyone was having a good time. Until. Let me sum it all up in one word, and that word is Rebecca. Bob yelled through the curtain for Rebecca to come back. She came bouncing back through the curtain, and immediately stopped. She looked around at all the girls sitting on the couch and screamed, obviously jealous, and hell hath no fury, like a jealous succubus. Rebecca, stop, Bob yelled. She did not stop, she just kept screaming. I'm not even sure you could call it a scream. Her mouth was open, but no sound was coming out. What could be heard though, was every window in the plane blowing out, and the eardrum popping sound of the plane depressurizing. An extremely forceful wind began blowing anything that wasn't nailed down, all around the inside of the plane, and eventually causing it to be sucked out of the window openings. All the girls screamed. Tony screamed, and even Bob screamed. We all began death gripping anything that we could to keep from flying out of the windows ourselves, the girls included. A loud explosion was heard, as both right engines exploded, I assume from sucking in all the debris that was flying out of the broken windows, sending 2 huge fireballs shooting into the sky, as mounds of black smoke poured out of each blown engine. Everybody screamed that time, covering their mouths soon after. Somehow, over the sound of the wind, the coughing, and the flames, we heard Edgar over the intercom once again. Sir, we have a problem. I've lost control. We're going down. Mayday, mayday, mayday. We then felt the plane going into a hard descent, practically nosediving, spiraling downward to the right, very fast. We all lost our grips on whatever we were holding, and were slammed hard against the pinball machines in the back wall, the force of the descent keeping us pinned there. 4 of the girls, Tony, and Stephen, were all knocked unconscious from hitting the wall head first. Corey, Ricky, and Derek, all had blood pouring down their faces from slamming headfirst into the back of a pinball machine, but they were still conscious. Donna and I, as well as Rebecca, and the remaining 2 girls, hit the wall hard, but appeared to be uninjured. So did Bob. Bob, I think this qualifies as a complication. Do something, I yelled. After a few seconds, I yelled again, Bob, what are you doing? Help. It was at that very moment that I realized, if I didn't want to die, I could no longer keep my gift a secret. I closed my eyes, took a deep breath, and softly whispered, I want this plane to be whole again.